I was born in Herat, Afghanistan, and I came from there when I was 7 or 8 years old. We went to India. We went to India through Persia, through Mashhad, Tehran. And from Tehran, we took a flight to Bombay, to India. My father was there. He had business over there. He had left Afghanistan when I was born, and he went to Pakistan and Karachi. And from there, then the war started between the Muslims and the Indians, and the English left in 1947. He moved to Bombay, and he worked. He had a business of import export in Bombay. He used to send merchandise and clothes and all kinds of things to Afghanistan, where he had partners, and from there they used to send carpets, dry fruits, all kinds of things to India, and my father used to sell. And they used to send tea from Ceylon, from every place, from tea from to Afghanistan, because it's a big consumer of tea. And we were also agent for Gillette blades for Afghanistan, something very rare, but it worked. It worked because the Muslims also don't shave, but the place they used to buy. But most of the goods that we imported into Afghanistan, most of these goods were re-exported to Pakistan, to India, some to the Chinese. We also used to bring silk yarn from Italy to Afghanistan, and this was all when they all went to India, Pakistan, some to Russia, and China, because these countries did not have enough foreign capital to buy these goods off from their own country. So they used to bring their local money, and we used to exchange local money into dollars, and we used to buy the goods and bring to them. And once the goods were in the customs in Afghanistan and on the border in Kandahar, we used to pay the taxes and we used to bring them out, but usually they were re-exported to Pakistan or to India, where whoever was there, they would buy and take the goods and go take them to their own countries. Usually they were smuggled, and it was it was a busy business. They needed everything in Afghanistan, from tires, tubes, Gillette, food, no, but clothes, shoes, everything they needed. So we used to see what they want, we used to bring for them.
Do you have any memories of being a small child in Herat, Afghanistan? Or
Do I remember?
do you remember much about your life in Herat?
But I remember, well, my life in Iraq, we were Jewish, so we kept the Bible and we worked through the Bible. There were only 3 Jewish schools in Herat. The Muslims did not have any schools. There were only 3 Jewish schools. We had 3 synagogues. We had 3 synagogues, and this was our main, let's say, school synagogue. And we had good homes. The homes there were very big. They were not they were villas, but inside the house there were like 4 or 5 villas. Like my uncle used to live in one part of the building, and we used to live in the other part. And then the third part was for the summer, because the summer was very hot. They used to move to the other side, but there was not much sunshine. And they had the fourth part, which was for the animals. We had an ass, we had a horse, we had a lot of sheep, lambs, and deers. Deers were there. We used to grow them up, and then we used to bring the shochet, and they would slaughter them for food. We used to make our own bread. We used to make our own milk. We used to make our own cheese. My grandmother was famous for making cheese. They had a cow. We had a big white cow with brown spots on it. A beautiful cow. And we kept it there for many years. We always used to go and feed this cow, and he was very happy. He knew all of us. And we used to take for him food, and he used to give enough milk My grandmother used to make cheese with it, and she used to sell, and they used to make a living on this, from this cow. Very interesting. The cow was there for many years. So when we left Afghanistan, we had to sell the cow. We couldn't, and poor thing, I remember that this cow was crying. He didn't want to go. You could see all the crying. He was looking backwards, looking at all of us that we should stop him, not the guy who came to take him. And then he said he didn't want to go because he got so much used to us. He didn't want to go. So poor guy. This thing I remember distinctly because it has impressed me so much. This poor cow that he didn't want to go.
And then how long did you live in Bombay before you came to Whittinghame?
In Bombay, I came in, let's say, 1950, and I left in 1957. I was there for 8 years. I did my bar mitzvah. And after bar mitzvah, my father sent me to Whittingham. He sent me to Whittingham, to England. We had this person, Mr. Ishkari, who was my father's agent. They used to send them goods, and he used to sell skins and carpets and this and that. He used to sell for my father or for the business. And my father asked me if there's any Jewish boarding school. He said, yes, there is one. So they inquired, and they found Whittingham College. So when I came to England, I was really surprised. I was just 13 years old, 13 and a half years old, and I was looking more forward to the flight than going to the school. But once I was on the flight, I became really said, where am I going? Why am I going? It's just amazing. At that time, you couldn't take money with you. You were allowed to take 10 English pounds with you. And my father bought the pounds to give to me, but he forgot to give it to me in the airport. So I was without any money. So I was sitting down the plane and without any money. So anyway, the one guy, gentleman, was sitting next to me. I told him, look, it's a problem. He said, yes, it's a problem. I also have 10 pounds. I cannot cannot give you anything. Anyway, and also what another problem was that it was in 1957, just after the Swiss War, because they had the war, Israel and France and England, they had the Swiss War. They had overtaken the Suez Canal. And the pilot came to me and said, you don't come out from the plane because you're Jewish. Maybe, you come out in Egypt, in Cairo, they might cause problems. I said, okay, I'll sit over here. We sat down over there because the flights then they used to make stops. Like we went Cairo, from Cairo they went to Lebanon, from Lebanon to Geneva, Paris, Rome, London. And they didn't give you any food on the plane. When you got off from the plane, they give you food and everything on the ground. So we used to get off and stay there for about 2-3 hours, and then go for the next stop. Hey, this is.
So what happened when you arrived in London?
Huh?
What happened when you arrived?
When I arrived in London, I was surprised because one of my father's partners came to pick me up.
Also from Afghanistan?
Yes, because my father sent him a telegram that go and pick him up because he's with us without any money. So this gentleman was my father's partner. He was in London then. He took a taxi, and I went there. I saw him. I said, oh, thank you. You have come to pick me up. So he picked me up and took me to the house of my guardian, Mr. Ishkari. So I stayed there for 2 weeks until I was accepted to go to Whittingham College. And I remember coming there with my guardian and Mr. Halevi, Mr. Jake, we used to call him Jake. He interviewed me. He says, oh, how far have you studied? How much English you know? How much English you don't know? And he asked me if I know Tchaikovsky. If I knew who Tchaikovsky was. I told him I know Tchaikovsky is a Russian name. Maybe music, you know music. I told him, you know music? I told him no, but because of the name, I think it's a Russian, and they are famous for making music. So he started laughing. So he said, okay, you go to the 5th lower class. There's a 5th lower, 5th upper, and then you would go to the 6th form. So that's how we decided which class to put me in. So he said, your English is quite good, because we studied English in India. The schools were taught English. So he said, your English is good enough to go to 5 lower. Then he went in, and then he introduced me to 2, 3 people. Some people I knew their parents.
Were there other students from Afghanistan?
There were students there. They were like Eli Martaka, Emmanuel, the 2 brothers, Emmanuel Martaka. Then they introduced me to Debo, and also to Yaakov Astin. With Yaakov Astin, we always remained friends. We always in contact in Israel or from Whittingehame, wherever he was, we had a good contact. So that's it. And I stayed there till about 61, or 57, about 3.5 years. I did my O levels, part of A levels, and then I went on to study 1 year more in Kingston, and then I tried to do BSc in economics. I was accepted in Kingston College, and then I went to the Polytechnic in London, Polytechnic, and then I graduated. After graduation, they told me, why don't you try and do masters? I told them, look, I left home at 13 years old. Now I'm nearly 8 years over here. I'm a bit tired, But what I want to do for BSc is enough, so I better go home.
So where did you go?
So when I finished university, it was 1965, already 1965. My father had already come to Italy. So I went to Italy, and we started doing the business. So I remember you saying, this business you have to learn from the beginning. The ruby is red, emerald is green, and blue is sapphire. So, okay, 3 colors, okay. So slowly, we bought goods, and I tried to go out and sell. And we sold here, we sold there. I was supposed to stay there for 6 months and then go to America. But then I stayed there 6 months. I saw I'm working okay. So I stayed, and I stayed there 52 years. 52 years, and we made a lot of money. We lost a lot of money, and but we made a lot of friendships. And it was good living in Italy. Very much impressed. Got to know the Italian people, very hardworking people, fine people. I was there, closed my company. I stayed there for a few more years. I said, I better go to Israel. So I I immigrated with my wife to Israel. My son still remains in Italy. He works in Italy, and he doesn't want to go to Israel. My daughter, she went to Israel after finishing school, and she studied there. Then she went to America. She studied in Columbia University, and now in Israel. She's teaching children who cannot speak. Children that cannot speak, and she's quite busy. That's it.
And when you were staying in Whittinghame, did you often go and stay with Mr. Ashkari? When you were in Whittinghame, did you used to have your holidays?
Yeah, sometimes we had the Jewish holidays. I used to go and participate with them, Passover or New Year or Kippur. I used to go and stay in their house and spend the holidays with them. And they were very good. I used to hire an apartment just near to them, so I used to go there for food. I was very friendly with the children. They had 3 boys and 3 girls. We were very friendly with them, and I'm still friendly with them. Tomorrow I'll see one of them who's still alive, because all the rest of it. So we kept good friendship, and Mr. Ishkari worked with my father for many years, and they were good friends apart from business. When in Whittingham, we did a lot of tours. We went tours of all around England to Manchester to Scotland, from Scotland coming down. During the holidays, they took a bus and they took us all around England. I remember they took us to Cadbury's factory. This is a chocolate factory. I used to eat 1 tablet of chocolate every day. After going to this factory, I stopped eating. The smell is still in this heavy chocolate smell still in my nose. So when I see chocolate, I don't eat anymore.
Did coming to Whittinghame, was it helpful for your career and your life as you? How did the experience of education in Whittinghame influence your?
It was Whittinghame was a very good experience. Whittinghame was very good. Not only apart from the education, they try to teach you how to live, but apart from that, the school itself was like we met so many people from so many different places. Like we had Muslims, we had Arabs, we had Jewish people from Brazil, we had Jewish people from the East, from America, local English Jewish people, and many Israelis. I learned there to speak Hebrew a little bit, but we grew up with all these groups together. Now it became so natural that wherever we went, we felt comfortable because we got used to this all kind of people, and we were not. I mean, today if I go somewhere, I have no problem, whether it's color, whether it's religion, or it's anything. I mix with them, talk with them like me, like myself. No, I don't say he's from Africa. I shouldn't talk with him, or he's a Muslim. I shouldn't talk with him. I talk with them. For me, important is the person, not his religion or his color or anything like that. This is what I learned from the school, to be open, because you're friendly with everybody. You're friendly. Even for me, when I was in the university studying I was so friendly with everybody because I spoke Indian, I spoke Persian, I spoke English and later Italian. So I had all these friends. They became my friends. The Indians were my friends, the Africans were my friends, the Persians were my friends because I spoke with them. And this impressed me a lot because I was friendly with everybody. They all used to, they wanted something, they wanted to rent a place. Said, David, come and help us to find an apartment, to find this, or have this problem, please come. I used to, if I could, I used to go and help them. And this was a very good advantage, knowing languages, knowing people, very impressive. Many times, many of these people, I have connections. Sometimes I used to go to their countries, I used to go to India, I used to call them and they used to say, wow, yeah, how come this? Thank you for helping me. I had a friend from Bangkok. He became the finance minister of Thailand. So when I went to Thailand, I went to visit him. He said, oh, you have to be careful how you come to me. I'm the finance minister. At 8 o'clock in the morning, I have to decide what's the price of the dollar with the local money. With the local money. He used to travel with guards and this and that. So I told him, come, let's have coffee. He said, yeah, I have to be careful. At night, I cannot move because I'm restricted. He had a special car with a special sign on it. Wherever he used to go, everybody used to salute.
You studied with him in London?
Huh?
You studied with him in London?
I studied with him in London. We used to study together, so I helped him a bit. After he finished, he went to do masters in America. And from there, he went back to Thailand and he became a minister. He became a finance minister. So what do you know about finance? It's very impressive, very impressive. Guy. Now his son also has become finance minister. So they passed this, it passes to this.
And you never went back to Afghanistan, or did you go back to Afghanistan?
We didn't go back to Afghanistan because being Jewish, it became a problem. Became Jewish because they introduced the army. If you went there, they say you didn't do army, maybe they put you in the army. And then our business started moving from Afghanistan to India. From India, we began doing business with Europe, with America, with my cousin and my sister went to Singapore. We did business through them to Singapore. Our business shifted from Afghanistan to India, from India to the Far East, to America, to Europe. And slowly, our business in Afghanistan died down because we were not there. And we were a little bit afraid to be there, and because being Jewish, so we didn't go back. My uncle used to go back and forward because they had to sell their houses, they had to sell this, they had to sell that. And when they came to Israel or to Europe, the sons, my cousins started working. So they were all working with their fathers. I said divided. My brother used to work, and I used to work with my father, and my cousins used to work with their father, and so it was different business, different things that we used to do from Afghanistan. And my father started as a jewelry business, and it became very big. Slowly, slowly became very big. We worked with Italy, we worked with America, we worked in many other places. We had other cousins who came. Tova's brother Arye, he came to Italy, and he asked my father to send him goods. Send me a blue sapphire, or a red stone, a green stone. He didn't know. So my father sent him the goods, and he started selling, started doing businesses and that. And then they needed more people, so my cousin came to Italy to help him do the business and this and that. That's how we changed the business from Afghanistan to Europe to Italy. And that's how.
Well, thank you very much. That was fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Complete.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.